Okay, we're back. And yesterday we went over selection, okay, using the freehand select tool or the marquee select tool. And we went over the golden rule of selection. When you select an area, you cannot work on any part of the photograph except that area. We'll undo that. We'll drop our selection with Command D. We went over the magic wand select tool. Okay. And if I want this to catch a bigger selection, I should be able to up its tolerance and click on the same brown spot and it grabbed a bigger spot. And most importantly, we went over quick mask. Okay. Quick mask is going to show us what's not selected and what is selected. And we went over the fact that you can use the erase and the paint tools to alter your selection while you're in quick mask. See, I'll just go ahead and get his little tail there, what's left of it. Okay, looks like a pretty cool dog. Now when I come out from under quick mask, my selection has changed. See, now I've got some spots there on his back. I'll go back and get those. You can barely see him in the quick mask, but you can see him in the marching ants view. Okay, and that's important. The fact that we can use the brush tool and the erase tool as a selection tool is pretty important because you're going to want to have as many ways to select something as you possibly can know when you start editing your photos, because you're going to have all different kinds of crazy ways to select things, and this is one sure way to go in and clean things up. Okay, because we've seen there are 4 select tools right here, and there's another one that's buried up in the menu that we'll get to. But not all of them are perfect. Not all of them get a good selection. But the ability to put the mask down and then clean up the selection with the paintbrush and with the erase tools, that makes the selection tools much better because you can go in and clean your selection up. Remember, those only work if this is set to black and white. And you can do that by clicking right here. Just click on that and it'll reset your foreground and background color. Okay, so we did selection. Real quickly show you the eyedropper tool. Let me drop my selection with Command D. Eyedropper tool lets me sample a color from my picture and that becomes my foreground color. Like if I want to get that blue there it is. If I want to get that green there it is. If I want to get the brown of the dog's back, there it is. Okay, so the eyedropper is pretty easy to use. Okay. And we're going to take a look at one of the palettes today. Remember, if you don't see the layers palette, and that's the one we're going to work with today, all you have to do is go to Window, find Layers, and check it back on, and the layers palette will appear. Okay, that's true for any of these palettes. Any of these palettes. If you don't see it, just check it on. If you don't see it, there's no check beside it, it's been hidden or turned off. Okay? So think of layers as a series of clear plastic sheets that you can stack on top of your photograph. If I click this little button right here, this is my layers toolbar. If I click this little button right here, it will add a new layer for me. Okay, this is now my active layer. And if I make any drawings or I do anything or I change anything, those marks land on this layer. And if I turn the eyeball off, those marks go away because I have turned off the visibility of this layer. And all because it was active when I was drawing. Here, let's pick another color, something bright. Okay, that layer is active now because it's light blue. When I'm drawing and I click the hide layer button, the eyeball button, they'll go away because they're not part of this layer. Now, if this layer is active and selected, I just selected it, just clicked on it. Oh, now it's, now I'm kind of stuck with it. Unless I can undo it, and I will undo it. Okay? This checkerboard pattern means that you're just looking at nothing. In other words, if I turn that background layer off, the checkerboard is showing me there's nothing there. It's an empty space. So there that is. We have added a layer, and it's like a clear sheet of plastic. Let's add another one. Okay, we can reorder layers by dragging them on top of each other. Here I'm going to make some, let's say some purple marks there. Now look at those purple marks. We can't see them because this layer is on top of that layer. Okay, the layer with the red marks and the yellow marks is on top of the layer with the purple marks. So let's move this. Let's click my move tool, which is right here. Let's move this over a bit. Now let's turn this back on. Not much of an improvement. Here we go. Okay, so we've got this layer right here, layer 2, is active. And I'm moving things around. Okay, I can turn it off. If I click 2 times on the word, I can even rename it. Okay. Call it purple marks. Same thing here. Rename it. Okay? And on these layers, the erase tool acts like you would expect it to. It erases away that part of the layer. Now, why is it not erasing my purple mark? Well, my purple mark is not my active layer. My red marks are. My purple mark is just sitting there waiting for me to select that layer and do something to it. So I'll do that now. So my erase tool works the way it should, or you'd think it should, on layers. It's only the background layer where the erase tool erases to the background color. So since I've got the erase tool up, if I make marks, it's going to make them to the background color. Okay? To get rid of a layer, click it, drag it onto the little trash can, and away it goes. Just click it, drag it onto the little trash can, and away it goes. To make a new layer, click right here. It makes a new blank layer. Makes a new blank layer. Okay. Layers becomes really important because it allows you to build your photographs up in layers, essentially. It allows you to bring in other pieces of photographs, combine them together, to do things to them individually, so you can lock out one part and not work on one part while you work on another by having that other on its own layer. Okay, so we're just getting started on layers, just scratching the tip of the iceberg when it comes to layers. But that's how you make a new one, and that's how you get rid of it. Okay? This is the active layer. Background is the active layer now. Any marks I make will land on background. Layer 1 is the active layer. Any marks I make with a paintbrush or the pencil will land on layer 1. And we can always change its visibility by turning its visibility on or off. Okay?